Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Larson. It's me, Dexter Lumis, NXT Superstar. So here's my shout out to the Going In Raw podcast. Clever name.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Speaking of which, actually, no, not speaking of which, because we're doing our recap here on Twitch. So welcome, everybody, for joining us for that. But I want to say thanks to everybody for joining us for our recap of NXT Takeover Stand. Of course, tomorrow night is NXT Takeover Deliver, and we'll be doing the live reactions again. And, of course, a big shout-out to the one, the only, Enforcer, for hanging out with us as well. It was
just generally being the absolute best.
Just generally speaking, being the absolute best. You turned on, are your notes on your 24-inch screen TV? And now they're gone.
There. Gone.
There we go.
There.
You can tell that giant TV of yours.
It's great. It's great actually having real estate to look at stuff.
I know. I'm looking for you. You got to do like a new like workstation reveal video, like even maybe in our Instagram or something.
See,
when you get the new thing.
The new desk, yeah. That's coming Tuesday. I get my laptop back. I gotta send that in. You know, get that all worked out.
Now,
get everything stored where it's supposed to be.
Rumor has it, according to Wrestling Channel News, you are in negotiations for maybe something in your background.
Yeah. Wait and see.
Wow.
Wait and see. This is awfully bright.
Larson is talking to Visca Man to put something in his background. Anyways. NXT Stand and Deliver Night 1. Wild fun. Couple of surprises. Couple of non-surprises. Couple of expected outcomes. But in general, just a really, really great night of wrestling.
Yep.
And I thought, I'll just start here. I mean, it was a great, great achievement for Raquel Gonzales, somebody who obviously found the formula, works really hard, has been booked really, really well. And she came out on top against Io Shirai, kicked out of that moonsault, delivered like a really super big version of her finish, and got the win. So that's a big moment. But to me, I kind of saw this coming. Match of the night went to Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter. Walter's like one of my favorite things in wrestling, Larson. I loved this match.
I did too. I thought the last three matches in particular were all outstanding. Walter versus Ciampa. I thought the triple threat tag match was a lot of fun. Those guys at MSK can do some really fun, exciting stuff. They really are a welcome shot in the arm to NXT's tag division. They bring a level of energy that no other team has. It's not a slight to any other teams because Grizzly Young Veterans, great. Legado del Fantasma, great. There's a lot of great tag teams in NXT. They're just, the energy, the athleticism is all off the charts. And then, of course, the main event, I thought Raquel and Io put on a hell of a match. Great stuff. For me, the only real surprise was who won that gauntlet match. You know? That'll
be interesting to see. It is a surprise. I mean, I had tons of confidence points on Dexter Lumis winning that match, expecting him to lose tomorrow. It's kind of up in the air now with Bronson Reed having won. They're either putting a rocket strap on this guy, or this is going to be sort of a test to see, okay, you know, can he hang, I guess, in NXT? I don't know. I don't know what the deal with this is. It was very surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know, we've always kind of wondered what is the ceiling on Dexter Lumis, the character as it exists now. And seemingly, I mean, it seemed like it was an obvious pathway to get a title shot against Gargano, given the story he was involved in with himself and the way and Austin Theory and whatnot. That was, you know, Dexter could have won that match and made all the sense in the world. Whether he won or lost against Gargano, it would have advanced story. You know, so I don't know if it's an internal thing where those at NXT thinks, okay, well, we like Dexter Lumis as a character, but this is kind of his role, you know? This is kind of his part in NXT. I don't know. It is an interesting question because
the thing is, I don't know. I guess it's a main roster thing. And I mean, they even did they did this kind of with Elimination Chamber. Now it seems a bit more obvious, why, with Daniel Bryan, because they wanted to put him in the match. But Kevin Owens seemed like the obvious choice at the time. And then, Cesaro was also a fairly obvious choice. It was like those two guys at Elimination Chamber, and it turned out being Daniel Bryan, and he would lose to Roman Reigns. And now he's in the main event of WrestleMania with those guys. But yeah, I just figured, look, Dexter Lumis beat Johnny Gargano clean once, and this seemed to make all the sense in the world for him to complete this feud with Johnny Gargano at this, kind of special takeover.
And who's to say that Lumis won't get involved in that particular match? Because, LA Knight has beef with Bronson Reed. Given what happened in the Gauntlet match, now Lumis and LA Knight have beef. So, will it be a situation where LA Knight will come out to try to cost Bronson Reed that U.S. title, only for Lumis to come out to kind of make the save to help Bronson Reed win?
That wouldn't shock me if it happened on NXT TV, given how clean they like their takeovers in general. Unless you're dealing with the Undisputed Era. It's like we didn't get any Thatcher tonight, or Killian Dane, when clearly they're building something with Imperium there, and there was all the ingredients for at least some Thatcher shenanigans. That didn't happen. Dakota Kai was expelled really early from the Raquel Gonzales match, so she was a non-factor. Takeovers, generally speaking, with some exception, they like to keep relatively clean. And so I'm not sure, although the way is kind of on the goofy side, maybe they'll have, maybe that'll be the one match of the 2-night, affair that will get some shenanigans. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is surprising that Lumis won that. Not surprising. Like you said, MSK, just an absolutely fantastic performance. All these guys, an absolutely fantastic performance. Interested to see where they go from here with MSK. I wonder, and I really hope, I feel like MSK is like considered by NXT, by Triple H maybe, a huge get for them, because obviously their tag division is the place where, and I'm hoping, because UK has a ton of great tag teams. You don't want to just import them all, but let's get Mustache Mountain. I mean, dude, come on. That'd be fantastic. And then you can go other places and look for other teams to bring in and really bolster up that tag division to feature it on Tuesday nights now.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Let's get used to that.
Yeah.
You want to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So the pre-show match was Toni Storm versus Zoey Stark. If you watched our predictions that came out earlier today, we had some reservations about putting large amounts of confidence in Toni Storm's ability to win this match. Turns out that was warranted. I turned it on right as Zoey Stark was raising her hands in victory on the ramp. So I didn't watch the match yet. I don't know how she won. She won, a bit of an upset, but it's obvious they really like Zoey Stark.
Yeah.
She's been putting on super performances every time she's in the ring.
Yeah.
I was just kind of surprised that they did this on the kickoff show as opposed to on an episode of NXT TV, but she gets the win. I'm
surprised they did it with Toni Storm. Every time I think they're going to make Toni Storm into like a big deal, it's like they kind of don't. I mean, this is kind of a big, she's like a pretty big name. She's like right there in the graphic right here. You're going to have to replace her with Zoey Stark now. Frederick the Dino here has a great point in our live chat on Twitch. Says, Reno Scum are living Impact. How awesome would that be? And they're such a great group. They're such a great team. Reno Scum. That'd be fantastic.
That'd be awesome.
Zoey Stark won there. The only sort of like match that underwhelmed tonight, given what its potential really is or was Pete Dunne versus Kushida. That opened the show.
Yeah.
And it was not a very long match. It had plenty of intensity. It was, there was a lot of action going on. Just didn't really last very long. It was a pretty short match.
No, it didn't. Yeah. It was. So during the Battle Royal on NXT last week, we got like 30 or 45 seconds of awesome technical wrestling between Pete Dunne and Kushida. And it was at a pace that would not be sustainable for the duration of an entire match. But yeah, this was good. but it wouldn't have felt out of place on the second hour of NXT. Good,
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. There was everything that you'd sort of expect to happen. Lots of technical stuff, lots of fingers. The theme to this takeover really was how much damage will it take to can the hand take and have somebody still win? Seemingly everybody who had their hands worked over ended up winning.
Everybody's getting hand worked.
Yeah, exactly. Except for Kushida, he had his hand worked, of course, in this match. Lots of that stuff, but in the end, it was a bitter end, and that got it done. So what I kind of wouldn't mind seeing, Kushida's absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
What I kind of wouldn't mind seeing, I'm pretty sure that Santos Escobar is going to win that cruiserweight title.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great foundation right there. Him, Kushida, maybe if they do want to go into territories like Japan and Mexico, perhaps get a lot of luchadors out out of Mexico for that cruiserweight division as well. In NXT, you can get some really fantastic stuff going on there.
Yeah,
or the junior division in New Japan, maybe.
Yeah, totally.
Pluck some away from there.
Yeah, potentially.
Ishimori, when is his contract up?
Oh, good question.
LP, when's his contract up?
Again, don't know. Loaded boot to NXT. Stay tuned.
Oh, come on.
After that, we had the Gauntlet match to win new number one contender for North American title. We knew the order in advance because we watched the Battle Royal last week. First two out, Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott. They're doing all sorts of great stuff. That twisting cutter that Ruff hit off the announce table. Man, that was great.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That was great.
Lots of fun.
Bronson. See, I didn't know. When I see Gauntlet match, I think, all right, well, someone gets pinned, next person's in. This is like a Rey de Reyes type deal. I guess I didn't put that together.
In your defense, when Regal first explained this, it made no sense whatsoever. He was talking, and Johnny finally came in. He was like, okay, wait a second. So, but he didn't really explain. Regal was explaining the stuff, and I had to rewind it a bunch of times. But I think I had the gist of it then. It was like, okay, it's kind of a Rey de Reyes type thing.
Yeah. So anyways, Bronson Reed is in next. He goes on a run, hits press slam on Ruff, lays out Swerve. Swerve and Ruff. Sorry, got that backwards. Ruff and Reed hit a suplex crossbody combo on Swerve, and then Reed sits on Ruff on his back, and then on his chest.
Oh, that looked every time I see one of these spots, I go to Kevin Nash's shoot interview when he talks about when Mabel did it to him at SummerSlam or whatever. But then
jacked up his back.
To see this, a little tiny guy like Leon Ruff and a huge dude like Bronson Reed. Oh, that's rough.
Yep. And then Reed hits a double German suplex on both of them. Cameron Grimes is out third. He takes out Reed with the moonsault. Swerve then follows with a drop kick on Bronson Reed, and then Grimes hands Swerve a huge stack of money. They start working together for a bit. Loomis is out next. Grimes, they didn't catch this on camera, as I recall.
Yeah.
So Grimes, I'm assuming, hits Ruff with a cave-in. And then Swerve tosses Grimes out of the ring. He pins Ruff. Leon Ruff is the first eliminated. Then Loomis DDTs Bronson Reed on the stage. He goes in the ring. He goes on a run. At one point, Grimes and Loomis tumble to the floor. LA Knight comes out next. He's dropping a promo on his way to the ring. Bronson Reed finally comes to from that DDT out there, grabs him from behind, tosses him in, hits some moves on him. Cameron Grimes leaps off the top. Bronson Reed shoulder tackles him midair, tosses him out of the ring. Knight hits Reed with a neck breaker, power slam on Grimes, superplex on Swerve. Loomis crawls in, and then he pushes Grimes into Knight, and then Loomis hits an Uranagi, and then locks silence in on Grimes, and then LA Knight does a jackknife cover on Loomis to eliminate him. Then Reed hits Knight with a senton. He's eliminated. He rolls out of the ring. Loomis puts him right in silence on the floor. We got Bronson Reed.
What a weird feud that's going to be.
You got that right.
LA Knight and Dexter Loomis.
That's gonna be pretty out there. Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Isaiah Swerve Scott, your final three. Grimes is next eliminated. Swerve rolls him up with a handful of tights after reversing a Grimes roll up. So then Reed and Swerve are your final two. there is a spot where Bronson Reed goes up top, Swerve hits him with a running drop kick, and then goes to the apron and kind of hits like a power slam onto the corner of the apron.
So nasty.
That sucked.
That looked like it sucked. Yeah, it really
Sucked.
did.
So Swerve puts Reed back in the ring, hits a 450. Reed kicks out. So Swerve hits a house call.
It's a great finishing sequence.
This was great.
Yeah.
Swerve hits a house call. Reed kind of no-sells it. Swerve hits another. Reed just falls like a sack of bricks. He gets him up, goes for another. Reed grabs Swerve by the throat. Swerve kicks Reed in the gut, hits another house call. That's 3 of them. Reed kicks out. And then Reed essentially gets up, hits a massive power bomb, hits essentially Deadeye, Hangman's kind of finish that he uses sometimes when he's not using the buckshot, and then the splash off the top to get the win. He will face John Gargano tomorrow for the North American title.
I don't know what to make of that match. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, yeah, I guess you're kind of like, if there's going to be any match with interference, that might be the one.
It's got all the ingredients, but who knows?
It does, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What's Bronson Reed's win-loss record been like? I mean, obviously he beat LA
Lately
Knight
he's won
recently.
a lot. I just have to.
Since he came, because he was gone for a while.
He was.
But then he came back, and he hasn't. I don't think he's been defeated yet. Like since he came back, anyways.
I was just looking on Pro Fight DB to see if he had a one-on-one match with Gargano, and recently he has not. He was in a triple threat with him, Gargano, and Roderick Strong that he won a while back. Why is this being slow? See if that works. Let's see. Hold on 1 second here. If this will load up. Or you can start with the Walter match if you want.
All right, man. Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter. Story of this match was Ciampa trying to take away Walter's most deadly weapon.
It's chopping hand.
The chopping hand. Absolutely. So he was working the hell out of this thing, but my God, this was just a physical match. It was really soon when Walter goes for a chop, misses, but then Ciampa goes on a run and just runs right into a chop, stomps Ciampa off the top rope. Walter goes for a chop. Now, this was the one folly that NXT had tonight. They had this beautiful, brilliant moment where they're on the outside and Walter goes for a chop, and Ciampa's up against the announce desk. Well, he moves, and the announce desk, just like the top part of it, just like splits in half. And he sort of brings half of it up with him, and it's a really impressive visual.
Yeah.
And then later on, they go and get a close-up of the actual table, and you just see that they sort of sawed it in a bunch of different sections. So it's kind of
we'll take a break here. Bronson Reed, since September, has lost all of 3 matches and won 8. He's 8-3 since beginning of September.
Okay. 8-3. Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's his time, or maybe, I don't know. I mean, when Keith Lee left, I sort of felt, they could use another Keith Lee and Bronson Reed. There are parallels there. I don't think he's the personality yet that Keith Lee was naturally. But in terms of just big men who do cool things, Bronson Reed fills that role. Whether or not that'll land him the title. I mean, Johnny Gargano is doing such great work, and that title is a big part of it. It adds to him so much. And there's plenty of people. Well, actually, now that I think about it, in terms of faces, like he's already had Leon Ruff. I don't know. There's a lot more contenders on the heel side of things for a Bronson Reed than there are face contenders.
Yeah, I mean, in this Gauntlet match alone, of the 6 men, only 2 are faces.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wait, 3. Sorry, 3. It was half and half. I guess Ruff,
Loomis,
Ruff, and then Reed.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
Loomis,
so Loomis is kind of a tweener. So
unless, yeah, dude, I don't know. Unless Bronson Reed's going to be a thing for John until LA Knight and Loomis get done with their thing, and then Loomis can go after John again and sort of make it a long-term thing.
I don't know. I kind of feel like this is
Seems like it, right?
For Loomis, something separate.
Yeah.
This is them taking Loomis out of that story.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that I'm disappointed with this Walter Ciampa match is that Walter did not get a chop on Ciampa's back. Because
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, Ciampa had destroyed the hand. I mean, we got a lot of chops, a ton of chops, But at a certain point, Ciampa had just destroyed his hand so much that Walter was unable to chop until later on.
With his right hand, with his primary chopping hand. He tried with the left, and commentary made a point. It's like, he can't get as much oomph on the left-handed chops as he normally would from the right-handed chops. But it was actually a really well-built story because he had Walter's like nursing his right hand. He can't do anything with it. He tries to like put on a Boston Crab. He can only do a single leg because his other hand won't do what he wants to do. And Ciampa would consistently find ways to get offense off, more so than a lot of other people who have faced Walter. Mm-hmm. He even hits fairy tale ending. Walter kicks at it too.
Yeah.
He looks. Ciampa locks in the Fujiwara armbar and starts twisting up Walter's hand as well. Walter gets the ropes. Ciampa looks for Willow's bell. Walter escapes, drops to the floor, yanks Ciampa's arm on the way down, starts hitting a bunch of shots with his left hand. They're trading chops later on. Again, Walter using his left hand, though. Ciampa eventually gets the advantage in the chop off. Walter, though, starts working over Ciampa's neck, hits a power bomb, then another, and does that cover. That's my favorite thing, where he puts his entire body weight on somebody. Mm-hmm. Ciampa kicks out. Right after that, Walter hits a sleeper suplex and a huge chop with the right hand.
Yep.
To get the win.
Yep.
Great.
And now Imperium joined him up on the stage, and Walter's chest, just
it's all blistered up because Ciampa was chopping the hell out of him.
I really want to see both their chests in the morning. So Walter right now I've confirmed he's on the plane heading to the UK for Prelude tomorrow.
Good.
Where he'll take on Rampage. Rampage.
Yes. On NXT UK Prelude tomorrow at noon Pacific, right? 3 Eastern? Is that what you said?
3 Eastern, noon Pacific, yeah.
There you go. We got another quick little dog vignette. This time the dog gets an elevator, exits elevator, walks up the ring steps into the ring, and walks up to, I don't want to say who it is, but I know who it is.
So wait, I think I was out of the room for this one. Did it show her boot again?
It was different boots.
Oh, different boots, okay.
I think it was different boots.
Okay. All right.
But then on the Tron it says Frankie Monet, like see you on Tuesday or something.
Tuesday, yeah. Okay. After that, we had tag team titles on the line. MSK, Legado del Fantasma, and Grizzled Young Veterans. They didn't give this dude a mic on the way.
They're losing, man.
So in this case, they did. Scarves didn't do much for them. They didn't win this. It made me sad. Really didn't.
They didn't win, but it was a really fun match. It was a really fun match. It was great that everybody got a chance to showcase. Like Legado looked great. Mm-hmm. MSK looked great. Mm-hmm. Grizzled Young Veterans looked great.
Yep.
Even in defeat, everybody that lost looked fantastic. At one point, this is one of those matches where there's just too much stuff going on that I took some notes. I could list off moves. I don't know if it's really enough to appreciate what was going on. You know what I mean?
No.
Because it was just insanity from the opening bell. At one point, though, Gibson put Wesley's hand, the one he broke, like stuck in the top turnbuckle. Then James Drake comes and hits a drop kick on that turnbuckle. Gibson then locks Shankly Gates on Wesley, and Nash Carter's jumping in the ring. He's trying to go and make the save, and Drake pretty much has a sleeper on him. And Carter manages to free himself enough to put his hand out and keep Wesley's hand from tapping out in the mat when he was maybe going to tap out. We've seen this before.
Yeah, I've seen it too many times.
All right.
I don't like it.
You don't like it. You're just not tired of it. You just don't like it. You're just upset that Grizzled Young Veterans lost.
I am. It's okay.
Raul Mendoza comes in with a drop kick, breaks up the Shankly Gates. Legado goes on a hell of a run. They hit their finish on Wesley. However, he kicks out. So then Wild brawls up with Grizzled Young Veterans on the ramp. Grizzled Young Veterans hit him with a Doomsday device off the stage. On the opposite side of the ring, MSK hit a double stomp burning hammer combo on Raul Mendoza.
That was awesome.
Legado is now written out of the match.
Yeah.
So Grizzled Young Veterans go for Ticket to Mayhem. Carter escapes that. He hits a double springboard cutter on both members of Grizzled Young Veterans, and MSK hit their finish to get the W.
No, I have seen it. It's just I've seen it too many times. Like, it's kind of obvious when it happens at this point. I've just seen it too many times. Like, it lacks. It was a move that it was a thing. The whole I'm going to hold your hand so you don't tap out thing. It was a thing that worked really, really well. Like when I saw it, I don't know, DIY or whoever did it.
It was DIY and Revival. Yeah, it was that
right. It was awesome. But like now it's just sort of like, oh, I know what you're doing. But no, good for MSK. I mean, this seemed to be the plan for them in the first place. So, they're just sort of picking up where they were leaving off.
Where they left off more or less, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that brings us to our main event. Raquel Gonzales challenging Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title. Man, fantastic stuff.
This was rad, man. They did everything. Including having Io teleport to the top of the skull at the entrance and launch herself off for a fun splash onto Raquel Gonzales. It was great. That was awesome.
Something else, man. That was something else. I know, that was great. Even before that, she let me see here. So she hit like a running meteor on Raquel on the ramp that preceded that. The ref was giving them a lot of leeway. He wasn't counting anything. No 10 counts. Mm-hmm. I guess they were like, hey, we're not going to have a count out to end this one. So, so Raquel rolls out to the stage after escaping or getting to the bottom rope during a crossface. Io hits a moonsault onto the stage, and then Raquel starts kind of making her way up towards the top of the stage, towards the entrance. And Io hits the running Meteora. We go to a replay of that. Raquel's getting up, turns around, looks up, and Io is at the top of the skull. It was not that much time that had elapsed.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know how she got up there so fast. Anyways, Io hits that off the top, brings Raquel to the ring, hits the moonsault. Raquel kicks out. Commentary did a good job of selling how rare that happens.
It's a big deal.
It even happens.
It's a big deal.
So Raquel rolls out of the ring. Io follows, and Raquel then hits her finish on the floor, puts Io back in the ring and says, "Why don't you stay down?" Io responds with the palm strike. Raquel just hits her with a huge clothesline, and then the one-arm powerbomb to get the win. New champion.
It was awesome. It was great for her. They had little sparklers. They had little. You mentioned post Revolution deathmatch sparklers coming down, and then a lot of steam. A lot of steam. Yeah,
a lot of steam.
Yeah, we'll take a couple questions here in Twitch chat. If you guys want to drop us some questions. Yeah. I Am Elves says Walter and Io are both using teleportation tonight. Does this mean... Walter's just getting on a plane. Yeah. Does this mean Triple H got a hold and is using Rawgate technology?
I hope not, because Rawgate's it's just a disaster waiting to happen.
The rumor is Triple H.
Enough. Shady Marino, Swerve, and Leon have such great chemistry. Could watch them fight forever. Also, LA Knight dead on arrival? No.
No. Dude, look, here's the thing about LA Knight. He ain't going to be pushed to the top. He's going to be a really great character. He's going to be a character actor. He's going to be a supporting player, and he's going to do a magnificent job.
Yes. That guy, Hammy, with the sub. Thank you very much.
LA Knight really is more of a main roster guy anyways.
Yeah, he is.
So it'd be kind of surprising if he stuck around NXT that long, unless they're just sort of main rostering up NXT a little bit. You know, they're going to be on their own nights, and maybe they're going to try to make it a bit more entertaining.
AJ's Rip Pants from TLC 2016 with the sub also says, "Hello, friendos. This was a great show. Once I left the reaction live stream, it wasn't desynced."
Yeah.
Yeah.
White Brownie says Triple H on a post-show conference implied that just because a top wrestler loses doesn't mean they're getting called up. But does that confirm she is getting called up? Well, that would presuppose that Triple H knows that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true.
He probably does, but sometimes I feel like he doesn't. No, I think that Raquel, I'll put it this way, if Raquel had lost tonight, 3 months from now, we'd be like, man, they really should have just had her win at Stand and Deliver. You know, like it felt, they have built her, and now is the perfect time for her to get this title.
It felt inevitable. You know?
That's what you want out of your champion.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Adam Beveridge, did you see the way rewatching Gargano Cole on playback worth it alone for Austin getting confused as to how Johnny was both sat next to him and also on the screen? That's pretty funny.
I gotta watch that. That's great. I did see Austin Theory's photo shoot where he's lifting these huge dumbbells, and there's like one shot of Gargano like just watching how much weight he's lifting. It's funny. It's good stuff.
That's funny.
The Spider Dan says, who is the next challenger for Raquel? Could you see a feud with Dakota or returning Tegan. I think he might have gotten the exact order right there. I can see Dakota, and then I can see. And the great thing about Raquel Gonzales is that they've actually fleshed her out really damn well, so that she can be a face and she could be a heel. Like she could be a face and she could be like a monster face, where it's like you can take on a baby face with that.
Roman Empire in a battle of chops, Walter versus Keith Lee's Grizzly Magnum. Who falls first? We actually saw this match, Walter versus Keith Lee, at a PWG.
Yeah.
If there's any sort of contest that involves chopping, you got to give Walter the advantage.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I appreciate Keith Lee and everything, but
Great.
Walter is Walter. Walter's in my top. Hey, who's your top 5 right now, Larson?
Wow.
Who's your top 5 right now?
In no particular order. It's probably Walter, Hangman Page, Bianca Belair, maybe Finn right now. I think Finn's doing the absolute best work of his career, man.
That's interesting.
Every match he's in is fantastic. He's doing some of the. Granted, it's not New Japan level promo stuff, but as far as his WWE run, this is the best promo work he's done in WWE, and I don't think it's even close. Like, I actually look forward to Finn Balor matches.
What a turnaround that's been.
I just didn't ever really like the demon stuff.
Yeah,
by the sound of it, he didn't really like it anymore either. So
it was pretty cheesy. Yeah,
it was pretty cheesy. And then. Oh, hello, my dog is here.
Hi, dog.
I'm just trying to do this off the top of my head.
No, that's fine. Sorry to put you on the spot. Some people
That's all right.
bring this up, and I'm like, I have my 5 here.
I'll say Kenny then too.
My 5
Kenny
is
still
this.
delivers in the ring.
It's Daniel Bryan.
Good.
It's Ilya Dragunov.
All right.
It's Rey Fenix.
Oh yeah.
It's Walter, and it's of course grizzled young veterans.
All right. Yeah, I forgot about Daniel Bryan. Add Daniel Bryan instead of Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Night by night, Space Enforcer senses your indecision. The harder you make this on me, the harder I'll make it on you. Get to work, he says. He begins to walk off, mumbling to himself. I told them this was a bad idea. Dullards like this never cooperate. You ask who they are. He turns sharply and says, the Friendos. He storms off through a strange doorway, but a small book labeled An Enforcer's Guide of the Galaxy falls from his suit. The door starts to close. Do you follow him or do you read the book?
I mean, he's going through a door and we're stuck in a hole. I'm going to go through the door.
But the thing is, that book might have the key to our freedom, Steve.
Yeah, but it might not. And I'm going to go through a door because the book can't really.
The door could lead us further into Space Enforcer's, like headquarters.
You know what? This line of questioning finally has heat. Did you notice, like, somebody in our YouTube comments was like, enough of these questions?
I know.
It literally takes 2 minutes out of like a 45-minute podcast. I think these are I love this wildly entertaining story. I think it's great. Somebody should clip every single one of these questions.
Oh, wow.
And we'll make them into its own video. I'm not going to do that, but somebody should.
Oops, sorry, ass. What match or matches tomorrow outshine those from tonight?
Okay,
Cole and O'Reilly could be really good.
That could be fantastic. That's going to be great. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Finn Cross. This has got to be Cross's best match. It's got to be like, okay, this guy, he belongs in NXT kind of match. The women's tag match should be fun. It should be a good match. That should be good. I mean, Reed versus Gargano, that should be good.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what's going to be Cole O'Reilly's going to be the standout tomorrow.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah.
You'd think so. Jorge D, after tonight's match, LA Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Figures he needs lackeys against Loomis, so he calls his favorite streamers.
Let me talk to you, dummies. Yeah.
You got it.
Did you see what that dummy Loomis did to me tonight? I need lackey, so you are in. No, so are you in? He says, you agree, but LA Knight says, to hang with me, you need some new names. Gimmicks and gear, so here you go. What gimmicks and gear name does it? Well, okay, for gear, it's probably just going to be like his gear.
Yeah.
Like with that cheesy font.
And then also we need cities and different parts, different times of the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll be Portland Dusk.
Wow, what a great name.
It's a good name, huh?
That's a really good name.
Portland Dusk.
Oh, man. Oh, I got to be Chicago Noon. Chicago Noon and Portland Dusk. That's great. What a great question. That's a great one. Miami Dawn. What a great name. That's awesome.
That's great.
That's terrific. All right, one more good question.
Maggie says, I love that Io's interview played to the story. I want to emulate a hero of mine, and it cost her the title. My interest is piqued in her next step as a character, and I hope Io and Raquel have another go.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Here is one last question here. Shane's birthday tweet. Do you think WWE will ever do USA broadcast and Peacock simulcast show again?
No. Probably not.
I see a reason to.
No.
I mean, this was sort of like I don't know about necessity necessarily, but I mean, it was,
I think next year with Mania back to being one day, TakeOver will be back on Saturday.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll hang out for a bit. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tomorrow is our AW review, which should be a lot of fun. And, at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, live on Twitch. And, of course, it goes on VOD afterwards. And then tomorrow night, NXT Takeover Deliver is tomorrow night. We're going to be doing a live reaction to that. And then a recap, just like we did tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Right.
Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.